What's up? It's Sharp here with the Kicked Out at 2 AEW Dynamite review for March 3rd, 2021. I'm here with my tag team partner, Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Good. What's going on?
Not too bad. Just recovering from Shaq going through a couple tables, man.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get right to it. All right. First match, we had Shaq and Jade Cargill defeating Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet, the legendary Red Velvet, in about 12 minutes when Jade pinned Red Velvet with some sort of face buster. Choppy wrestling, gun club randomly interfering, and Cody, like I said before, cross-bodying Shaq off the apron through a bunch of tables. What'd you think?
I mean, I think this was fun for kind of like a celebrity match. Like it could go very south very quickly. So I was glad that they kind of portrayed it as like, I think he actually did well for his like wrestling debut because he seemed like he took it seriously. You can even tell like the little things he was doing, like when Jade was wrestling, because it was more of a showcase for the girls. But when like they were wrestling, you see Shaq cheering on in the corner. He's not just like going through the motions or just like, oh, I'm just here collecting another paycheck. And I think Cody was the right man for this job of making sure everything that Shaq did, just be
Definitely
the big man that he is. And that was a pretty cool, like even before the table spot, a big shout out to Brody Lee. He did the power bomb and everyone on the internet was freaking out about it, saying, oh, that was so cool, which it was. And then the table spot, that was, I mean, seeing a 7-foot+ guy who's probably over 300 pounds going through a table.
Those tables exploded, dude.
Yeah.
That was not normal table.
No, it's a lot. Especially add like Cody Rhodes, who's not a tiny person, maybe compared to Shaq, but like it's a lot of man coming down. So, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I was curious of like they kind of built this whole event around it, and then it was the first match to start. So I'm like, okay, this is like this might be going more of like a TV production route instead of
I think they were just trying to come in hot, get people to watch right off the bat, and then we'll talk about what happens next. I think they were trying to keep them interested immediately and keep viewers rather than the classic method of building up a main event and making people wait, which you could argue if it was effective or not. I mean, we've seen the ratings. It did popped a pretty good rating, but
no, yeah, it obviously was gonna do right. But I wanted to text you, but I actually stopped myself from texting him. Like, I'd rather talk about this on a podcast because I think that's a good discussion. Like, because you probably have better insight than most people about like kind of TV wise and stuff with ratings. It's hard coming out of like the main event of like, oh, hey, coming out around like 10 o'clock, but starting that hot at 8 o'clock. Like, hey, let's just get everyone going. Do you think that's like a decent route that they should go?
I don't know, like, because I think
I don't even know.
I didn't hate it. And I mean, we'll obviously talk about what came next, but to just come right, I assumed this was going to be the main event just because you have Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it was a good idea, actually. I mean, proof's in the pudding. It didn't pop like a monster rating, but it did better than their other shows do. And at this point, man, wrestling is kind of like a baseline.
Yeah, it's like you get your fans and like people are watching, they're watching it. And if they don't, they're not watching it.
Yeah. I real quick though, I did see like on Bleacher Report, I like clicked the Shaq going through the tables and all the fucking comments on Twitter were wrestling's fake, this shit's fake, lame. I'm like, man, they gotta, if they want to make wrestling like a little bit cool again, they got a ways to go because people were, I mean, I get what people like don't like ESPN and whatnot commentating on wrestling because it's not a quote unquote sport, but
scripted.
Damn,
like
the hate is real on Twitter, dude.
It's funny, man.
I'll say about this match, I thought it was a little sloppy. Obviously, at the beginning, Shaq looked a little tentative, and I was like, "Come on, really dig into him. Cody can take a whooping, dude." But I liked it. I thought it was really entertaining. Jade Cargill is decent in the ring, but if she gets even just good, she's a freaking star.
Yeah.
Obviously, the way she looks, her ring attire was great. She's just a beast. She's great. One random thing, I did not like that Red Velvet was booked from straight out of Yo Mama's kitchen.
Oh yeah,
It's so corny. So
it's like you roll with the punches. Like you're super happy that like they don't have to get signatures or write-offs. It's like, hey, can I do this and go through 10 other people? It's kind of
Sure,
very free
yeah.
flowing, but then you are subject to get some
Someone's gonna be
very.
like, dude, come on,
I'm
just say
like,
you're from like Tacoma.
just say your hometown. I like just
Yeah,
say it like, oh, okay. Like I'm like excited when they're saying like, oh, from New Jersey. I'm like, oh, Jersey boy. All right. And then like
yeah.
you forget it after a minute.
All right, so then after the match, real quick, Shaq got loaded into an ambulance, and then Tony Schiavone, like, a knocked unconscious man was in an ambulance, and Tony Schiavone was like, "Let me go check on him. Let me go get an interview from him." He's like, "Dude, he's unconscious." But then when he opened it up, he wasn't there, which I was like, "This is what is he, Shazam again? Like, what is he like?" I, but I will say that probably means something else is going to happen with him.
Yeah. I think it's good. Like it's like what you say before. Jade's a star. This was kind of built around her. It's good that they got the win because then like you could build more for Shaq to do more things and like it's smart money from there, bringing in like production level of like more eyes on the product. You want celebrities to come in. Granted, like he's pretty old now. You kind of want newer celebrities, but again, it's it's pro wrestling at its
Still
finest.
a big name, yeah.
Yeah,
He's still, yeah, and he's got a reality show that they were shooting too. So I mean,
yeah.
he's like a very like
You
popular
you keep that
pop
also.
culture figure. He's never gonna go away.
Yeah, and you also it never hurts to help the company that you're working for, as in like they're both working on
Yeah,
TNT.
work with
Yeah,
TNT.
they
Yeah.
think the collaboration is there.
All right. So right after this, we had Phoenix and Pac beating John Skyler and D3 in like just over a minute. I'll start with this. This is all I
Mhm.
have. Now that's how you do a squash match.
Yeah.
The other team did not get an ounce of offense in, nor should they. They need to do more of this.
Yes, absolutely. They highly regard Pac, and I'll be honest. When I was first watching AEW, it was tough for me to shake off like his WWE stuff. I was just like, oh, okay, they kind of like really watered him down, and he was doing that cruiserweight thing, and then like he was pit. Like it was tough to wash that out. But I think he's been doing better and better, just being intense. I do think it was interesting that they're doing like their whole trio, their death triangle group or whatever. And you got Pentagon who's in that ladder match, but then you also
Who hasn't
now
really been involved with him
right,
that much recently?
but now you got Ray Phoenix and Pac who are now in that casino tag team battle royale match. And it's like kind of interesting. Like I kind of liked it because it makes it a little different, as in like, yeah, they've done the Lucha Bros like so many times. Now they're doing kind of a
Sure, yeah,
different combination. It kind of makes it more fresh.
agreed. All right, so then MJF and Jericho had their press conference with the rest of Inner Circle with them. Featured questions from Barstool, Conrad Thompson, and Eric Bischoff. Young Bucks came out, cut a promo, pretty much like talking some trash, and then just talking about how much they love their dad for a while, for like a pretty long time. And they finally dropped some super kicks, which it was so obvious when they were like, and he taught us to stand up for ourselves. And then, dude, like it was like, come on, Jericho and MJF, you got to be ready. Afterwards, Cutler and the Good Brothers helped them kind of even the odds, and they did like a simultaneous off the stage, off the entranceway thing, double splash through the tables. What did you think about this segment?
It was like it was good and fun at points, and some I was like kind of getting tired of. Like it's kind of the same shtick with Jericho and MJF. They're gonna just do like old school heels of saying like, "Hey, I buy fine suits," or "You guys are all trash." I'm just like, yeah, we've heard that a bunch of times. I do like that they do outside organization stuff because it makes it feel a little bit more like kind of out there, as in like they were saying their podcasts and stuff like that, where we're used to the other WWE where they're just like everything has to be within our company, whatever, and nothing else exists, which is not true. I like the table spot; it was cool. They do the good brother things, like it kind of makes it silly to the point of like that they're not agreeing with each other, but then they're just like, no, they're our friends, they're our boys anyway. I'm like, yeah, I know, but then like I think this is the best on the mic for the Bucks in a while. I think they come off a very not so great, but I think they came out like pretty passionate, and that's kind of pro wrestling at its finest of like elongating the story, as in like they're talking shit about like your dad or whatever, then like they're coming out being pretty passionate. So I thought it was their best in the mic. Well, they got a little bit ways to go though.
I think they were really good too, but I definitely do think if someone beat the shit out of your dad and sent him to the hospital, why would you not come out slinging a chair?
Yeah,
I get that
exactly.
it's wrestling, and I get maybe like, oh, if it's 2-on-5, maybe you would set him up by like
Right.
him in with like a speech and then boom, hitting him with super kicks. And I mean, I guess it worked out for him. But I do agree with you that like I like that they got Barstool involved. I like that they had Conrad Thompson, who's a big figure in wrestling, who
Yep.
they just like railed on him and called him turkey tits and then sent him on his way. I thought that was
He
I
must have
thought it was
given the
funny.
okay. Just imagine just getting called turkey
Oh,
tits.
for
I'm
sure.
like,
He loves
fuck, like, I'm just
getting
gonna go home. I don't want to
paraded.
deal with this.
I actually don't. I actually disagree a little bit. I mean, you said you liked it. I thought it was great. I thought from start to finish, I thought it was a
Okay.
blast. It was definitely similar to a lot of stuff Jericho and
Yeah.
MJF do,
That's where I got
but
a little tired of it. I enjoy it, but it's just like the same
I
thing.
just think they're gold on the mic compared to anyone else. So
Oh
I think
yeah.
the more of them talking is the better.
Yeah.
Um,
Makes it
although
personal.
did think that the table spot after just seeing Shaq go through the tables, I was like, oh, maybe you should space this out a little. Well, whatever.
Well, that's what we were just talking
I
about
said
before,
before,
getting
I think
hot the
they were just
first
trying to keep
hour.
the viewers. Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
just
just
like put another table in
yeah.
there.
It was literally the Shaq segment showing off like how athletic Phoenix and Pac are, and it's like, oh, this is the type of wrestling you might get, and then showing off like incredible mic work and like fun stuff.
Mhm.
That's like, I don't know. That's what I thought. Like the first three segments, I was like, this is fantastic. All
Yeah.
right, then we saw a video package about the upcoming barbed wire death match between Omega and Moxley, and just pretty much highlighting how dangerous it was, and Jim Ross and whatnot saying like, I've never kind of seen like a match like this. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll just say real quick, uh, Onita was in it. Which is awesome because he's a
Yeah.
deathmatch legend. But they
Mhm.
didn't really say who he was. They just had him on there. They didn't have like a. I don't even think they brought his name up.
Yeah, it was difficult for me to understand what was going on. I just kind of put two and two together. I'm like, this guy must be related to these exploding matches for some reason. So I'll
Yeah,
just go off with
exactly.
that. I thought it was
It should
good
have
to
at
kind
least
of
been
tell
like,
us.
oh, I think Excalibur afterwards said like, oh, that was Onita, blah blah blah. But at least just have like a graphic pop up, like
Yeah, that's like that's
25-year veteran death
but that's
match.
like the production level they kind of need to get at. Like this isn't stuff where like, oh yeah, you need to pay thousands of dollars to really like do that. That doesn't
No,
take
it's
too
just like
much.
little things,
Just
and
yeah,
it's
just
just
little things go a
assuming
long
that
way.
everybody knows more than they do, which you
Yeah,
can't do.
exactly. No, you can't.
All right, so then after that we had FTR, Tully Blanchard with JJ Dillon defeating Jurassic Express in about 11 minutes when Tully Blanchard came off the second rope, double spike pile driver on Luchasaurus, and Blanchard pinned Luchasaurus. Some good action. Masked Man helped FTR win the match, and it turns out it was a returning Sean Spears. This is all a lot because a lot was happening in this
Yeah,
segment, and
so
the
many things.
squad kind of gathered together. And Arn Anderson came out on the ramp and gave the Four Horsemen salute.
Yeah,
Think about all of this.
it's just a lot to take in. That first hour was just wild. Just making sure like let's get all this in this first hour to carry through. I guess so. Um, I haven't been shied away that FTR is definitely my favorite tag team. I feel like any match they're in, they're gonna make it good no matter what. And Jurassic Express is very fun to watch too. I just think FTR they could be paired with anyone, and it's gonna be fun to watch. Their tag team is just so
Yeah,
crisp.
ridiculous.
They're like they're like phenomenally good, as in like they could put with any tag team and make it like great. Um, the Sean Spears thing, like I figured he was gonna come back and like this kind of new group of this four horseman angle. I'll admit Sean Spears is kind of like a reach, as in like he like everyone says like oh he was offended saying he was a good hand and stuff like that. I thought he had a good start when he came into AEW with like Cody Rhodes, but then like it just fizzled out quickly, as in like what else can he do? So I'm curious of what that fourth guy may be. Oh, here's another thing. In the beginning, this is just something that AEW does. They have to stop doing. I don't like belts that don't belong with their company anymore. They
I
do it
like, dude. Those are
way too much.
classic old school
Yeah,
belts,
I
though.
know, but
That
like it
that
takes
was
so many
cool.
time. It was cool, but it takes so much time. Like you can hear Excalibur, like even losing Brett saying, like that was like the 20 years ago, that old school United States time. Like I get it. Like, but like
For
especially when you
inside fans, it is cool. For a casual fan, they're like,
but
this
you
means
got
kind of
but
nothing
then
to
you
me.
got that FTW belt. You had Moxley bring in that the Japan, then you New
Yeah,
Japan, United States
the
belt, and
US
these things,
title,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just a lot of things. You got not Thunder Rosa, the Serena Deeb
Serena Deeb.
NWA title. Like, it's just like everyone's having, like, you don't want to devalue these things. Like, you really want to
Yeah, that's
highlight
a good point.
just a lot. Like, I thought it was cool, but like I kind of thought like maybe save that for a different time, because like think about this. This is what I think about Shaq coming in. You're gonna maybe bring in viewers that are not necessarily like viewers watching every week. So wouldn't you want to like kind of grasp on them and make it kind of geared towards them? Not saying like, hey, F you, um, hardcore fans, but just kind of help out to understand what's going on a little bit. It's tough.
Sure, but I don't think like having a bunch of belts really that would turn people off that much.
Nah, it's just like
I
I'm
think that's
nitpicking a
something,
little
yeah.
bit. Like I actually really enjoy this match. I thought it was very fun. I'm kind of curious who's that fourth guy. Possibly, maybe. I think they maybe need a main guy. I don't think Sean Spears is
Yeah,
that
that's what I
leader
was gonna
guy.
ask you. I mean, I will say I thought Tully Blanchard actually looked really good. I think they mapped the match out really well,
Yes.
where he didn't have to do anything that crazy. You knew he was going to do more stuff to Marco Stunt.
Mhm.
I like that he hit his finisher, the slingshot suplex.
Yeah.
Uh, I love Jungle Boy Luchasaurus. His comeback, everyone like raves about his comeback. His kicks are always kind of like clunky and set up to me, and it always just looks like someone he can do like athletic things, but he
Yeah.
can't do it to make it look like he's actually doing it in a fight, which always kind of
Looks
bothers me.
very choreographed. Like I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
that
But it
really
is,
bothers me. It's like
yeah.
the antithesis of how FTR works,
Yeah, oh,
and
yeah.
they like are doing everything they can to make this look legit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. Whenever FTR is in the ring, I know it's going to at least be good,
Yes.
very minimal good. But I thought this was a really fun match,
Yeah.
and I like that Tully Blanchard pinned Luchasaurus. I was like, what the hell? I didn't expect that to happen.
No, they do a
I
good
am
job.
interested to see what happens next,
Mhm.
and I do agree where I'm very much not interested in Sean Spears, but in a four horseman like faction, at least he could be like the less of the least of the four people.
Yeah.
Not saying I don't enjoy him. I think he's a really talented wrestler, but he doesn't do much for me.
I think he could thrive in that role. You can't just be put in a like a very like heavy main event role and be like, hey, we're rolling with you type of thing. Sometimes you need like a certain position and
Yeah,
flourish in that,
sure.
as in like, oh, okay, I'm doing really well in this, and then it gears you into other things. That's just like from like obviously we're talking about from
Yeah.
fans' perspective.
Yeah. All right. So then this was okay. This was how crazy like the first hour was. Before they even left the ring, Shivani was already out on the at the top of the stage, calling out Paul White, AEW's newest signee, with a wearing a no BS t-shirt. All right, I get it. No Big Show. That's a brutal t-shirt. Who's gonna buy
You'd be
that?
surprised,
Who's gonna
man.
if you saw someone wearing that at Target, you would be like, Jesus Christ, what is
No more BS.
So, but he cut a quick promo that was pretty much saying he's excited about his role on AEW and excited to be what color commentator on Dark Elevation, which is a brutal name. That's terrible. Like,
We're just
just
gonna
do
get
it
used
something
to
else
it.
than Dark, yeah. And that most importantly, this was the one great thing was that there's going to be a Hall of Fame level recruit that's about to sign at Revolution.
I hope that's
What do you
good.
think? Well, he called it Evolution though.
Yeah, that was a miss, swing and a miss there, but
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
whatever.
it is
It's
what it
just
is.
like I thought his promos are right. It was just Big Show being Big Show. Like nothing's different with him. It wasn't like
Dude,
he
it's
was.
Paul White. Come on,
Yeah,
just no
yeah. So
BS.
I kind of
What are you
maybe,
doing?
maybe I should buy the T-shirt to give myself a reminder.
I thought the promo was short
It's
and
just the
sweet and
same
good.
as yeah, like he is. I
I
am
liked where he said who expected this turn coming because everyone rails on him for
yeah,
turning so much. I thought that was
exactly.
funny.
Yeah, he's into the jokes, which that's kind of AEW where we give him flack for it, but also appreciate they have funny jokes, but then they do the jokes a little too often, as in like, hey, we're in on the joke too. I'm like, yeah, we get it, but like,
Yeah.
I'd rather just watch the show. I don't know who's actually this Hall of Fame worthy person. Like, I couldn't
Yeah.
even really give you a good guess. I'm just hoping it just doesn't suck like as much as like. I'm not. This isn't like AEW, but I've gotten used to pro wrestling. They're like, oh, new person coming in, and like we've been kind of used to getting disappointed. So
I
like, I'm
saw a couple people posting like Lesnar, CM Punk, Becky Lynch, and I'm like, it's not going to be something that
Yeah,
big.
no,
Come on.
it's not
But
that.
at the same time, let's hope it's not like, no offense to these guys, they're great wrestlers like Kevin Nash or Booker T or someone.
Yeah, like it's
A lot of people are
just
saying Christian. I don't know. I don't. Rob Van Dam. I don't know.
but like
I hope it's just
it's just
somebody
they're old.
who's.
They're just older, so it's just like I know it's tough to like get like a new hot signy guy without like word going out. So it probably is going to be an older generation guy. But then I'm like, how excited can I get from that? Unless if they
Yeah.
really they do a good job of keeping things under wraps to make it a good surprise. So
Dudley boys.
the good old fashioned Dudleys.
We
But
love
it's
the
just
Dudley
like
boys.
let's just say if it was the Dudleys or or it's like Bully Ray type of caliber,
Yeah.
like would you be upset or a little disappointed?
I
I'm not
like
saying
Bully Ray. I
I
think
do.
he's a
I
good.
like him too, but like you're saying Hall of Fame worthy. So you're putting that pretty high.
But
You know
that
what I mean?
also like signifies that like they're not necessarily. When he said Hall of Fame, I go right to like WWE
Yeah.
Hall of
So
Fame,
maybe he's
even
just
though
doing a
there's
play
other
on
wrestling
words.
Hall of Fames.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe he's doing a play on words as in the Dudleys are in. So but maybe he's doing like Booker T's in. So maybe it's Booker T, but then it kind of falls into
But no,
that.
they're
Oh, it's
worthy. It's
okay, yeah,
someone who I feel
maybe.
like wouldn't be in. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. But it's a good
Yeah.
hook. I think it's a smart thing to
Oh
do
yeah, I
to
want to
hook
know.
like people. Yeah. All right. So then in the finals of the women's eliminator tournament, Rio Mizunami defeated Nyla Rose about 13 minutes with the top rope leg drop. Then after the match, Mizunami got a trophy, faced off with Shida, and then they got into a little battle of the forearms, a classic strong style spot from Japan.
Mhm.
Shida got the better of Mizunami. What did you think about the match?
That was good. I think they did a good job of like honestly, I haven't seen much of the Japan side to be honest. I kind of just like only saw the highlights they had on Dynamite. I actually
Yeah, in a
liked.
fucking garage.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
presentation was awful, dude.
I think they just need to do something different. Rio was kind of a trip when she first came in. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of glad that she's not like I'm not trying to cast them or anything, but I'm glad she wasn't like a Sheeta type character of like a samurai warrior. I was like,
Yeah.
we don't need another one of that. I wanted something like a list different. She's kind of odd, so I thought that was pretty cool. I thought the match was good, kind of devaluing their roster again. So you're just saying that like, okay, the winner of this tournament just be like the winner of like your roster tournament, and it's just someone from Japan who's not even signed. So it's kind of like it's hard to kind of get that to resonate to like people who are fans like us, as in like everyone's been complaining about the women's on the roster is not getting as much over as that they would like to be.
I don't mind it as much just because I think that Sheeta's gonna beat her, uh,
Yeah.
and it's just gonna put her over more. But I know what you mean. I just don't. There was like Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. At the end of the day, when this match happened, I was just kind of happy Nyla didn't win, even
Yeah.
though I think she's improving a ton. And I actually thought this match was pretty solid. But Nyla, I think it's already versed her in title matches twice. I think she lost it to her and then had a rematch.
No, I feel bad for Nyla because this isn't not any of Nyla's fault, to be honest. Like you
Yeah,
said,
well,
great
she just gotta
matches.
chill and like keep having good
It's
matches,
just
and she'll be back.
it's just they
But she's
did
definitely gotten considerably better.
they just did the matches so many times already. It's like
Yeah,
nothing like she can't do anything about it as I'm like, oh, they already seen this like three times already. Like what why are they gonna see it again? You know what I mean? Like they need
I'll
fresh
say in this
views and
match
stuff.
though, I thought it was a good match. Mizunami definitely doesn't impress. No one on that Japanese side that I've seen really impresses me that much though, which makes me not as upset about it makes me maybe a
Mhm.
little more upset about the American side, like not getting as much of a chance to win this thing,
Right.
because this girl at one point she just did a spot where she was just like tapping her chest, and it was supposed to be like she was chopping her chest, but it was
Yeah, it was
brutal,
like
dude. She was just like playing patty cake with her chest, and Nyla was selling
yeah.
it like, oh, I'm getting
It's just
electrocuted.
like getting hit like fast
And
and
then she was
trying to do
doing
it
like
quick.
weird, like it got more serious near the end, obviously, and it
No,
got
she's a
into a
trip.
pretty good match. There's too much goofy stuff, dude. But I liked at the end that they got into the forearm battle, so it wasn't the typical like shake your hand, I'm excited to verse you. Like
Yeah.
we've had enough of that. We've had
Yeah.
enough of like honorable stuff.
Gotta
At
make
least it
it
was a
different.
little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so then Shivani interviewed Sting for the for like the ninth week in a row, and that's not even an exaggeration. Sting thanked Cage for powerbombing him and wiping off the rust and said he was ready for a street fight. Starks came out, put Sting over, but then told him he wasn't an icon, slapped him. Sting got the better of him, put him in a scorpion deathlock until Team Taz rushed out. And before Cage could powerbomb Sting again, Darby Allin made the save. I'll just say this was okay. They peaked last week. They should have maybe swapped the weeks because the zip line spot was much cooler than this. This was kind of just almost going back 4 weeks.
Yeah.
We've just seen this so many times, them getting the better of them and Team Taz backing away, even though they have like a 5-on-2 while they're on the stage, and they're like, wait, we've got 5 guys. Why don't they just bum rush them? They got 5 guys
I know.
compared to 2 dudes. And they didn't have weapons, I don't think, that time.
The numbers don't add up.
And Cage looked a little stupid when Darby's music played. He started kind of looking up.
He was looking at the rafters. He was like,
zip line
for the rafters.
Yeah, but he came from a zip line last time, and you could see a zip line. Which last week, I will say, I liked last week's spot, but when you see an actual zip line to the ring, you must be thinking like, wait, what is that for?
You gotta suspend your own beliefs a little bit. Like, it's pro wrestling. Like, imagine seeing a guy in a zip line, like, what am I gonna do? It's just like, we're gonna wait for this guy to come in and just
but like, even when you're just in the ring before that, you see a zip line without someone,
you're like, oh,
wait, what's that for?
That's the
I don't know. I just thought this was like, if Sting and Darby win, which I think they're going to, I feel like this kind of buries Team Taz a little bit, getting whooped 3 weeks in a row. But maybe they won't win.
I don't know. I think this, like, it's like you kind of said it best. Besides this, like the zip line part, you could combine about 8 weeks into like a 15-minute window of all of this. And like, I was kind of bummed by this. I'm like, Tony Schiavone's gonna say it's Sting, and I'm like, okay.
I don't know what else the hell they would do.
It's hard, like, because like it is hard. You are building this like feud.
Maybe just not do anything this
week.
Maybe
they announced it too early. There was like, I'll be honest, this is the first match they announced at Revolution, was this tag team match. Maybe they shouldn't have just announced it till like a little bit later, so they could kind of build these weeks instead of just like, hey, we're gonna interview Team Taz. Big brawl. Hey, we're gonna interview Sting and Darby. Big brawl. And it's just like, how many times?
Or they get intimidated and they walk back. Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's got a bad escape. Okay. I mean, how many times are you gonna put Darby
said,
in the body bag?
I am still interested in seeing the match. So.
Oh, absolutely. It's just like, I hope they kind of learn from this, as in like when they're building like a long like feud and having a big payoff.
Too long.
Yeah, don't have the same thing every week.
I think they have good intentions at heart, just having like a long build to matches as opposed to like just doing it over 2 weeks and expecting people to care. But if you drag it out too long, you got to find that sweet spot.
Yeah.
All right. So then with the new heel, I guess, Scorpio Sky on commentary.
I got confused by that, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, dude. They don't always do like heel and face turns without explaining anything.
No.
He was just talking so much about how great he was. Max Caster beat 10 from Dark Order, about 9 minutes to qualify for the ladder match at Revolution. He got the win after Jack Evans interfered by smashing 10 in the face with Caster's boombox. After the match, Matt Hardy handed Evans an envelope for $4,200, which was a really oddly specific amount. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a plan 420, because I know Jack Evans is a pothead. Showing that he paid him off to attack another Dark Order member. I'll just say real quick, he comes out later, and I won't reiterate. I said last week, I don't think -1 should be out on national television. I think it's great what they're doing with him. I keep it to dark. I think if some random person tunes in and they're like, why is there some random child? Like,
yeah, it's really,
I just think it's a weird optic. Claimed is growing on me. I like that. I actually have grown to enjoy the raps, and I like their theme song. But I thought this was I honestly thought this was kind of a lackluster match.
Yeah, wasn't great. I was actually shocked that Max Caster won.
Me too. I actually was like, oh, they got to have a Dark Order guy in that ladder match.
Yeah, exactly. I guess this kind of makes sense to the storyline, because the Dark Order is a big fan of Hangman, and now Matt Hardy's trying to make this more personal with Hangman. I don't know. I know we talked about like Big Money Matt and being that skeevy manager guy. I like that, but I think this is too much Matt Hardy. I don't want to come off as like a hater of him, but like I
It
feel
is
like
a lot of Matt Hardy.
it's just even going into like even the main event, like is he elevating like TH2? Like he's just like paying these guys off, but like he's the center of this like focal point here. I'm like, is he supposed to be the superstar? Like, I don't know. I thought the match was okay. It's basically like I even read afterwards. I think they do a good job of keeping injuries on hold. I heard that Anthony Bowens is actually out with a knee injury, so I'm like, okay, this kind of. I was like, where's Anthony Bowens? This
Yeah,
makes
I thought
sense.
that was weird too that they didn't even bring him up or say. I don't even think they said Max Caster would be acclaimed.
No, yeah, and I
I
really
don't
like the
think that.
tag team. I kind of hope that they still stick as a tag team because I still think they got like things to do like around there.
I'm sure they will. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Acclaims, but yeah, this whole Matt Hardy thing, I'm a little iffy on. If he's really the center of like the whole thing, it kind of doesn't make me too excited about. Like I'd rather watch the young guys kind of get pushed forward.
Well, we'll get to that quickly, but before that, Miro pre-tape talking about his match to Revolution. Pretty much said he's done playing games and it's going to give people destruction at Revolution.
Nice.
Uh, Bad promo, but at least he's telling people that he's going to give them what they want.
I didn't mind it. Honestly, I think we need a little bit more of this. I think Miro started off too much joking around. So I think I like him having personality and intensity at the same time. I think he has to kind of revert back into that now. So this was just kind of like a classic, like, hey, I'm going to kick your ass type of promo. That's basically it. Nothing better or worse.
Fair enough. Then in the main event, John Silver and Adam Page beat Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn in about 11 minutes when Page pinned Quinn after the buckshot lariat. After the match, Hardy took a microphone to Page, started whooping his ass. Dark Order made the save, and then the rest of the tag teams in the tag team battle royale match for Revolution interfered. And that's kind of how we went off the air. The massive tag team brawl. What did you think about the match, and what did you think about the aftermath?
Well, you can't end Dynamite without a big brawl, as you
They
always
love
say.
doing that go home for
It's
pay-per-view
just
and then a
every
massive
time.
brawl, baby.
Match is okay. And this is what I mean by like kind of like you probably have better insight about it, about like getting TV ratings in, maybe starting really hot the first hour. Because they announced this in the middle of their show saying Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn versus Hangman John Silver in
I
the
don't
main
think this is
event.
the right thing to do. Like, I think
This
it was
wasn't a
right to
main
start out
event.
hot and keep them, but you also have to have something to keep the people wanting to watch because they didn't
Yeah.
really tell you. I mean, they did. They told you like midway through, but I don't think anyone's sitting on their hands dying to watch Mark Quinn and Matt Hardy
No.
versus Hangman and Adam.
It
I
wasn't a
mean,
main
Hangman
event
and
level
Silver.
match. It was a good match. There was
No.
like points that I liked. I think John Silver's hilarious. I think there was one moment where I thought it was so funny that like Matt Hardy pushed John Silver like into Hangman and like John Silver just like holds him and hugs him and just you could just see how happy and elated he is.
Yeah,
And I'm just like those
yeah.
little things are just so funny. But like match is all right. Again, with this Matt Hardy being the center, like is he really elevating Private Party or is Private Party elevating Matt Hardy at this point? Like I know like he's gonna be like, well, that's the heel thing to do, as in like I'm taking advantage and like, yeah, but like you could be heel, but like the whole point of this was to elevate younger guys, and I don't see that with kind of this storyline, except Hangman being like the focal point, which absolutely needs to be.
Which, yeah, you could say what you want about where Hangman is on the card, but he pretty much gets the win every match he's in, at the
Yeah.
very least. I like the I like the Hardy character more than you do.
Yeah.
I like that he just in every instance was too scared to get in when it would be a fair fight, and then didn't want to tag in Mark Quinn. I don't know. I think he plays the character well. I know what you mean, but I got a kick out of it, and I really liked. First of all, I did not like JR calling him Johnny Huggy like 5 times. Like,
he just totally loves that.
Nickname. But I did like JR when he gave I think Mark Quinn a brain buster, and he's like, yeah, but it doesn't hurt as much because it's not that high.
Yeah, you don't have to bury this guy. We get it. He's
No, but I
short.
like that. I like just being logical. Like he wasn't burying him. He's like, yeah, it might not have kept him down because it wasn't from that high up in the air. I don't know. I just like I
Oh
like when
no.
they say logical stuff where
Yeah,
I
it
know
makes
that you want
sense.
to like keep your wrestlers looking solid and not
Yeah.
bury them, but I like also when they say what we're thinking, because when he picked him up, I was like, big deal. He's dropping from like 3 feet in the air. It's not even that.
If you're getting dropped
um,
on your head, no matter how far, it's still gonna like. I get
but
what you're saying.
I will say to end the go home show to Revolution with a tag team brawl for a match that I forgot was going to happen until they pulled up the graphic.
Yeah.
That's a terrible, dude. They didn't have anything with Moxley and Omega besides that one video package.
Yeah.
That's brutal. You gotta have them talk. I know Moxley cut a really good promo last week. Omega's done nothing. They've done stupid stuff with him, with kids, with
Oh, you're not a
weld.
huge fan of it. I thought they were pretty out there.
Oh,
Funny,
they're
but
awful.
I don't hate it. It's like
I
it's
really don't like it.
ridiculous.
It's just like,
It's just
oh, look
ridiculous.
at where we're doing inside stuff. How is that building up a death match? Or like how is that building up any main
Well,
event
think
match?
about this. Where can they go from here? They started off very strong. Like they're trying to build this as a very long, like well thought
Well,
out
that's
story. The
not them,
unsanctioned match,
boy.
the unsanctioned match. They had a regular match. They never got along. And the literally the first episode of Dynamite, he puts him
They've
through a
like
glass
haven't really
table.
but they've done like what they've shown highlights of that, but they really haven't brought up that much that they
Yeah,
had this crazy match already,
right.
which is by design, obviously. But
Well, most of that year, it was Omega in that tag team. He even said that he wanted to elevate the tag team division. So there really isn't a story to tell. Like when Moxley was the champ, and Omega was actually technically a champ too, just in the different division.
no, I was just saying, like, but like in their original feud right at the beginning, they've shown highlights of that, but they haven't really talked at all about like that we had these crazy matches already, because I think they
Mm-hmm.
want to like make sure. I don't think they want to be like, hey, they already had these crazy matches. Now this one's going to be slightly crazier. I think they just want to be like, this is going to be like the wildest match.
Yeah.
But dude, this is your go home show. You have John Moxley, who's top 3 best promos in the company, or top 5, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he just cut a good one last week. Do something, dude. And Kenny Omega, he was my favorite wrestler back in the day. You got the world title now. Enough goofy skits. You can still have like a fun character, but you got to get serious. You can't just be
Yeah.
like, watch me chip a golf ball and have people pretend that I made it in. How is that going to get me enticed into watching you kick someone's ass?
It's more so like this is why maybe I'm not so much of hating it, is that Omega is probably on the spectrum of people will cheer for him just because of his body of work, and it doesn't matter what character he is. So
And
he
he's doing
has.
nothing to fucking try to make people not like him.
What
You
do you
got to
mean?
try.
You just
You
said
got
that
to
like
try.
you already don't like it that he's just doing
But I
these
like him
out.
for like a way where I'm like, I don't even want to watch this, as opposed
Ah,
to
I see
like
what you mean.
MJF, where
Okay.
like hate him
Yeah,
because like he
that
actually
makes
makes
sense.
me
I
like be
see.
like,
I
fuck
see your
this guy. I
point of
want to
view
see
on
him get
that.
punched in the face. He's got to go wait, turn the channel heat rather than like,
It's just
uh,
like I get that. It just it seems weird. I feel like they did the show and like they just swapped the hours. Like I felt like the first hour should have been like, you know what I mean?
yeah. That
That's
first
kind of
hour was newsworthy, legends
yeah.
coming back, like TV moments that they could replay on like Shaq going through the tables.
Yes.
And then the second half was just like mid card guys having matches.
Yeah.
All
That's basically it.
right. So what's your rocket of the night, your favorite moment, and your anvil of the night?
All right. So I'll start with my anvil of the night. Unfortunately, like it's just the same thing every week. The Sting promo. It's just like as soon as like Tony Schiavone saying it's Sting, I like pictured everything in my head. I'm like, okay, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. And literally I was like just checking it off. I'm like, all right, I knew everything that was gonna happen, that sort of realm. I knew that they were gonna hint at like I'm gonna powerbomb him again, and then Darby's gonna come out. Like it was just all predictable. We've done it so many times.
That's fair enough. What's your? I'll hop in and say
Oh yeah, I
mine
can
then.
give you that. Yeah.
Well, mine no, I'll say mine was Max Caster in 10. It just did nothing.
Yeah. Well,
It was fine. It was like I didn't think anything was that egregiously bad on the show, but it just I don't know.
I agree with you because
Well,
well, they set up themselves for failure on that one. I mean, you had like that amazing Lance Archer versus Ray Phoenix match, and you're having these guys,
no, Max Caster versus 10 wasn't the main event though.
but you're highlighting
Oh,
this
for the ladder match.
qualifying for this ladder match. Like it's just
Yeah,
like
but screw that. It's time for like some younger guys to, be like, all right, this is our time to step up. And they didn't lay an egg or anything.
no.
It just was kind of there.
I just thought the placement was bad, as in like maybe start off with like, hey, opening match, Max Caster and 10 are going to qualify, and then build up like, and then Lance Archer and Ray Phoenix or whatever.
Yeah, which is also like, why are Lance Archer and Ray Phoenix having to verse each other? Two guys who are like red hot and like
Yeah.
really good. And then Max Caster
And 10.
and 10, two guys who like haven't done shit.
Right.
And then a bunch of guys get into the ladder match without even having to have a match. But
It's
I
weird.
mean, whatever.
Yeah. Well, my rocket of the night, it's FTR, baby. They're too good. Anytime they're in something, like I really enjoyed the Shaq moments and stuff, but FTR versus Jurassic Express, I enjoyed a lot of the tag team moves in it. I just think that AEW getting FTR was a very solid get for them. Any match they're in, I'm just always like geared in and glued into it.
They're fantastic. They like don't everything looks so crisp. Just like it's very much the part where you can turn off your brain and be like, I can picture this being like a legitimate wrestling match, like people
Yeah.
actually fighting. It's probably the one time of the night you can do that. Like
Yeah.
Mine will be mine's different though. I thought the Jericho MJF press conference was super funny.
Yeah.
I didn't think it overstayed its welcome. I thought they like answered everything pretty funny. I love Eric Bischoff coming in and being a constant thorn in Jericho's side. I got a kick out of that. Whenever he walks out, Jericho's kind of like, look. I thought he asked like a legitimately good question. Like, where is this on your like scale of terrible ideas to just rile up the Young Bucks?
Right.
I thought it was I thought it was a really good segment. I thought it was funny. And there was some inside stuff in there, but there's also like you show bar stools there, and then you have a great segment where they decent brawl. I'm not going to say the Young Bucks can really like throw good hands in a believable brawl, but the table parts are cool.
And I feel like sometimes they're writing stuff and they're like, let's add a table. Just add a table. I'm like, okay, like, whatever, man. Just add a table. It's good though. I mean, like it made it fun. Like I think they really did it purposely, making that first hour like just crash after crash. Yeah, let's just go insane with it, and then we'll filter out the next hour and see like who stands like good there.
So what's your 1 to 10 review? What's your 1 out of 10?
It's tough. I thought if you want to break it down in hours, like 8.5 to 9 the first hour, and then the second hour.
That's what I was thinking too.
I'm like 6, 5, maybe. I'm like, I'm not like it's just like I'm just watching just random things going on. So maybe I'll average that out to like a 7. A 7 seems tough because I enjoyed that first hour so much, but that last hour really kind of dragged it down, to be honest.
I gave it an 8. I thought it was like when you said it's usually more baseline, but I thought the front stuff, I was like, damn, there's so much stuff happening. This feels like this feels more like a big event than wrestling has in a while on like a weekly show.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree with you. I'm excited for Revolution.
I'm pumped for Revolution.
Yeah,
but dude, with a battle royale tag match, 6-way ladder match, a street fight, and an exploding barbed wire death match.
It's gimmicks on gimmicks. It's gimmicks on gimmicks right here. We'll see.
I mean, I'm excited for it, but it's a little too much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was Kicked Out at 2 Dynamite review. Signing off, Chris and Eric, or Chris and Sharp, brother. Later, guys.
Take it easy.